basically our only real things are going to come down to one, price, what we can do with you. Two, the other company we're with, they've just actually asked us if we want to renew again for another 2 or 3 weeks because we've been doing it like two weekly.
Right.
And they were on my case yesterday. They're based in the States, but we're on WhatsApp together. And over the
Yeah.
last, say, week, it's pumped up quite a bit. So there's been quite a lot of bookings. So I just said to Danielle, look, we're just going to hold on for a couple more days till we
Mm.
decide if we're going to try something with Joe. Um, so the things are one, if we do something in April, we'd probably want to take a break because we're basically closed in April because we're all away. So
Okay.
that's just one thing to know. I know you've already said that you cover all the treatments, so laser hair removal, microneedling, chemical peel, and any kind of like hydrofacials and all that kind of stuff, right? You cover all treatments because I saw on your Loom video people talking about laser hair removal and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
So that's all good. We would want to mention the fat freezing. I know you said you'd have to do that differently, but it's quite a big USP for us.
Right. Okay.
And that's quite popular on the other Facebook campaign with these other guys.
Yeah.
I think you said there's a way you could do it, but it might be slightly different. We would
Yeah.
want to mention it because it's quite popular.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think we need to see the pricing to decide the best way to do it. Ideally, in the long term, it'd be much better for us if you're the guys making the appointments.
Yeah.
But maybe initially it might have to be us. It all depends on your pricing structure. So we're basically quite open. It's going to come down to what we can do with you guys, basically.
Yeah. Okay. And how much like marketing budget are you looking to kind of put towards, you know, towards marketing?
We need to sit down and work it out. If it's working for us, like the people on your video say, then we'll just spend more and more and more.
Okay.
But in the beginning, we need to see that.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Give you an
So,
idea, the guys we're working with, sorry, in the States, just so to be
yeah.
prepared to give you an idea. Yeah, it's in America, so it's a little bit annoying, but it's all Facebook and AI anyway. In terms of pricing wise, they've been quite fair from the start because they know one of the guys. They've been paying like every 2 weeks. Very similar pricing to you, but they're dollars. That's the only real difference. So it's the
Okay.
difference in the price conversion or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I would like to see kind of what campaigns they're running. Because ultimately, like, for me to really, know that I can add a lot of value to you, it's like we've got our own strategies that we use, that work pretty consistently. However, if they're gonna do basically the same thing, I'm not here to make a sale. Like, I'm here to help you guys, and then get rewarded from that. So, like, go on.
yours is different because they offer the same service as you in terms of making appointments, but you've got to be based in the States for that. So we're not
Right.
in the States. We don't, that's not something we can have. So we've got to
Mm.
make the appointments. And they're different to you because they are basically, they're more just get anyone and everyone to call and then see what you can close. And their adverts are not dodgy, but borderline dodgy. So they'll be
Right.
advertising things that we don't really offer because they'll change the wording. And then they'll say to
Right.
us, put your prices up for something that costs 120 quid, make it cost £600, and then we'll slash it back down to 99. And it works for them, and that they're pumping clinics in the US, in Miami, places like that. But for us, we don't love how they're doing it. It's getting us
Right.
bookings, and it's fine. But of course, we're making millions of calls, so we might have to make
Yeah.
20 calls to close one or two appointments, and those calls are annoying as well.
And they're often
Right.
slightly
Yeah.
misleading and they're not giving correct information. So when we're on the call, we've got to then, first of all, manipulate the call back to the actual
Yeah.
treatment and then try and sell the treatment. So it's taking double the time.
They'll call a facial like a facelift, and they'll
Yeah.
but they get
What?
the calls. Yeah, yeah, they do
Okay.
crazy stuff, but it
Yeah.
it gets the leads. I understand what they're
Right.
doing, and for us, that's the only marketing we've done because we're a small clinic, and it gets us bookings, but we don't love it. So this is why
Yeah.
this opportunity's come up. So we would be very interested in what
Okay.
you can do, basically.
Yeah. Right. So that, I mean, that, if I was you guys, I would never especially, you know, you've got quite a good brand behind you from the, you know, you want to reflect that. Like that's a part of, you know, like the kind of leverage that you've already got above everybody else is that you know, you've got a good name behind you. And when somebody sees that, but then, you know, there's a facial which is discounted from 600 quid to like 100. It's
Yeah.
just like, so yeah, so there's obviously brand. The way like, so the system, when it comes to like getting consistent, good quality clients consistently, everything is one. It's like a human body. It's like you've got the brain, you've got the heart, you've got the lungs, all the organs, and if one isn't working, it's as strong as the weakest link. Um, and what that company does is they basically handle 50% of like the chain, um, up until basically generating them a lead, generating you guys leads, and then you guys are then it's in your court to convert them, which basically is basically causing things to break along the way. I mean, also their 50% that they are doing isn't very good either. I could generate a clinic 300 leads tomorrow if I wanted to, but I respect that if I'm not going to be doing the follow up, they're just not going to be convert any. They're going to waste all their time. No one's going to pick up. They're going to forget about, you know, forget about even inquiring in the first place. And then when they do come in, they're looking for a discount and the cheapest price. And if you don't offer it, they'll go to the next clinic down the road. And the way that our approach is that in business, the more factors you can control, the better you are to the faster you are to get something to work, and secondly, the better performance you can get because you can oversee everything, track everything, and basically get to the end goal, actually get to the end goal, and then get there faster. So that's our approach to it. At least, I mean, we do have a way of that we can price for doing 50% of the work, and doing 100% of it. What I recommend, because you've said, you know, like you're happy to invest in marketing, it's just you want it to work. Like, you know, if somebody says they're going to make you, you know, 20k a month, you'll be happy to, you know, invest and put the money down. It's just you want something to work. So if you're looking for something to work for the best return and basically to fulfill that, like, you know, I'm happy to pay if it works, then I would point you in the direction of us doing everything for you so we can have the biggest oversight on everything that's going on and quality control to the point of reminding somebody an hour before the appointment to come in, from extracting them off Facebook without discounting, obviously. So our pricing for doing it all for you with our team of medical professionals is 1,500 a month. And then if you want us to do 50% of the work, and just send you like the best leads like any clinic in the UK could physically get, that's 1,000 a month.
Plus VAT, we're not that registered at the moment.
I'm not that registered either
Okay.
at the moment. Yeah, going through that process.
Okay, so it's not plus VAT.
No.
Okay, and then you're recommending £20 a day, aren't you, as a daily budget?
Yeah.
And then if we want to take a break, for example, in like April,
Yeah.
does that affect things? Because with these guys, you know, when you take a break, the AI starts again with its learning process and stuff, apparently, and things like that. No.
The thing is, if you're a clinic where you hit pot luck and you're lucky that the campaign's running and then you turn it off, it's like, oh, I might not be lucky next time. But at least with our processes, we know, like, you know, at least when you're at a certain level at your clinic, you're not like a complete startup. You know, just getting your Instagram off the ground, that type of thing. we know that we can consistently get a good performing campaign up and running. So,
So,
you know,
okay, well,
yeah,
Sorry, because the reason if we take a break, it's because we're closing the clinic because people are on holiday or whatever, because we're very small.
yeah,
And the AI that we currently use only give a booking system for like 2 or 3 days in advance. If we were to just say to you, we're closed between these dates, only do bookings before these dates and after these dates, and we wouldn't need to take a break. Is that possible?
well, no, because
the
we wouldn't
thing
want
is,
to pay for April.
Well, if they're doing all the bookings, they're
Because they're
booked for
big,
May.
no, doesn't. The bookings are more in a short period, aren't they?
That's what I'm trying to find
yeah,
out.
if you get bookings coming in, you know, over a month, you know, a month in advance, your no-show rates will be really high. Our
Yeah.
goal, as when you are looking to get to work with a marketing agency, basically your goal is to get the best type of clients for the cheapest price possible. And basically by saying, well, yeah, you can book in a month's time, basically probably like 1 in 3 of those will fall through, which
But also,
basically,
we couldn't afford to pay for April and have no bookings, so it doesn't make any sense. But then we're paying in April and May.
No, that's fair enough. I'm
So
thinking,
no, it wouldn't have worked for us anyway. What I would suggest, which we'll talk afterwards, if me and Dan agree, would be to do March full package,
yeah, yeah,
and then talking end of March, and obviously praying that it works. We then go ahead May, June, whatever. We crack on from there.
yeah,
We take the break in April, but we know it's going to work.
yeah,
It's good timing because I'm tossing up in the air whether I pay these guys for 2 more weeks or not. I'd rather just say no to these guys that we're taking a break for a month and
yeah,
crack on with you. You'll be setting it all up with Danielle. She'll have to tell you about the clinic, the opening times, what days. We're not open every day. We will be soon by May or June. Hopefully have a lot more availability. But right now, I've only got one girl who's working in the clinic. But we will have a second one very shortly, hopefully. And obviously, if you're getting us more bookings, then we'll get more beauticians anyway. But Dan
yeah,
will need to tell you about all the treatments, I guess, tell you guys everything.
yeah. So that's just a part of our process. You know, that's what we do. It's all, we know exactly what we need to know, and what we don't need to know. We do also use AI. I don't know if I've told you in a similar way, because we cover all areas: email, text messaging, phone call. You know, it's not just kind of just text messaging, at least on that package. So yeah, we know we have a meeting with a medical professional, where you guys talk all clinicky stuff that I don't really understand about what treatments you offer, and you know the specific ins and outs of, you know, your ethics as well. So we know how you guys like to run your clinic. We get some people, some clinic owners who are very corporate in their approach, and they want it to come across as, you know, oh, it's Dr. You know, Amira calling from this like this X clinic's team, whereas some people like it to be more like as if it's talking straight to the owner of Sarah. You know, it's all ethics, and so yeah, that's just a part of our process. If you do want to move forward, we would just have another Zoom call just like this. Yeah, and it's just kind of like it's kind of a debrief on to kind of get to know how you guys operate, so we're able to be on the same page when interacting with your prospects. So, you know, when they come in, they've got that sense of, well, they know, well, first they know why they're coming in. From what it sounds like with your current marketing agency, they don't even know why they're even a lead. So they know why they're coming in. They get that sense, but it's off your hands. It's completely outsourced, and that's the service that we provide.
so do we give you like scripts to read, or you just get the information and then just interpret it in your own?
We've got all that. Because we're making so many calls a day. Again, because we test and optimize everything. You know, the script that we use is absolutely optimized to maximize conversion rate, but also order value and upselling and cross selling and all of that. without discounting. And that's already all, it's all there. It's ready to go. We only work with aesthetic clinics and we only do this one campaign, which is the same for everybody. So
We could definitely get the fat freezing in there, yeah?
yeah, so is that body?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
machine costs, costs a lot. We can't afford to not have it running, basically.
Right.
it's
Okay.
and also
So
it's one of the treatments that we generate the most money from for the shortest amount of work. So it's one
right.
of our top sellers.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is obviously we've got to put together a strategy. It might be that we do some testing. I mean, the thing is like if you want, so we've got some body treatments and then we've got some face treatments. There's really two ways to go about it. It's like if you're getting, let's say the target audience for CryoPen is, I don't know, like 40s, women who are 40, maybe something like that. Is it
30s,
30s,
20s and
40s,
30s.
20s and 30s? Okay, so if they're 20 to 30, that doesn't really overlap in our target audience. So that would be kind of we probably have to do a separate campaign, and that might mean we split the budget in half and go some budget to a campaign for CryoPen, and then some budget to our like kind of standard where they submit images to us, we assess them, we give them a call, and then basically sell them on the packages. And the reason why I was wondering about demographic is like if the demographic was the same demographic as like facial aging, we're basically going to be getting all these middle-aged women between 35 and 45, which is the demographic this campaign attracts. Then you get all these opportunities in for your facial treatment, and then it's just like cross sell over to CryoPen at the same time. All we're doing is collecting a £25 deposit. When they come into you guys, they're coming in for something for their face, but then you guys can also, because it's the right target audience, sell across to the CryoPen. So that would be like the alternative strategy if the demographic was the same demographic. However, if it's 20 to 30, it might be it needs more testing. So in the month of March,
the same demographic, we'll do it the same one, because also the 30 to 40s kind of have more income.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's just keep it the same. I mean, it's such a wide range anyway.
You don't do any on face, do you? Fat freezing?
No.
You used to do.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
We can somehow bring it in.
It's like at the end of the day, if somebody's got sagging, or a double chin, they might have, excess pockets of fat, on their body. If it's the same, if you're talking to your target audience consistently, for facial treatments and body treatments, there will be some that will obviously want the body treatment that you can cross sell to. It's just making sure, and this is what we'll help you with as well, is that when they come in to the clinic for their whatever it is that we've pointing them in the direction of, that you guys also have in the consultation a script, or at least kind of a format template that you can use to start that conversation about how to stop talking about the face, get them treated for that, but then move the conversation over to exploring the body, and that way round as well. So we would also help you put that cross-sell strategy in place as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try, because it does attract people on Facebook. Definitely want some form of advertising for it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we can have a think about that. You guys can think about it as well. We can try, maybe there is a way to introduce it to the face, and then I don't know. No, we need to think about that one.
Yeah, sure.
when you're speaking to someone, do you say like, do you have any other concerns, or we offer this treatment, that treatment, or
No,
no?
so the way I mean kind of online sales works is that um we are, so there's an analogy. It's like the person we're speaking to is the teacher and we are the student, because the more we learn from the teacher, the more we know what we can offer them that will address their concerns. So a lot of, because so I've got a lady up in kind of like Anglesey, so like on an island, and she just gets the leads in coming into her facial submissions for her to call. And her original approach was all about like, so like, do you want to book an appointment, or like she was just an order taker. Whereas our approach to it, it's all about, so like what originally made you reach out then? And then they'll say like, yeah, well, you know, my sagging jowls or whatever, you know, my skin's just hasn't been very clear at the minute. And they'll be like, okay, so like, you know, is that concerning you at the minute? Is it like getting under your skin? And then you basically get them opening up to eventually how it's affecting them on a day-to-day basis and making them realize that. And then we basically say, so like, you know, based on what you've said, you know, we have got the treatments because it specifically targets that, and we basically use what they tell us at the start as ammunition to then book the appointment in the end of the call. So and that's our approach, and that approach roughly gets about a 60% lead to collected deposit rate on the phone call. So when somebody picks up, it's about a 60% chance of booking an
So
appointment.
where do they pay the deposit to?
So you'll create a Stripe link.
Okay.
So that would just go into your Stripe account. If not, we can do that on our end. But I would recommend you just setting up unless you like already have one, just set up a Stripe account connected to the bank account. £25, unless you've already got a deposit connected to your scheduler online booking system.
No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we would.
because
Yeah.
yeah, set up a Stripe, no problem. And then what do you tell them about cancellation terms? Are you quite strict with them?
Yeah. So it's the way it works. It's and this again. This is kind of up to you. We can say I mean, saying fully refundable is a good way to get people paying on the first phone call. And it's refundable if they show up to the consultation. If they don't show up to the consultation, it's not refundable. If they do, it gets refunded. And then if they go ahead with treatment, then obviously it comes off the treatment cost. And then in the consultation, you can leverage that to help them move across, as like you can say, you've already paid the deposit, so this is now the cost. So in their head, it seems a bit cheaper. But yeah, cancellation, if they cancel, no refund, either way, no matter what. Yeah, that's basically how it works.
And what we sometimes do, if they're unsure of what facial that they want, we're like, pay the deposit, come down. And the way we work is we're so small that we're able to tailor treatments to that individual. So we don't necessarily, you know, we've got our set standard facials, but if someone's got a concern or a condition that we need to work around or work towards or help them achieve their goals, we will then take a bit of this facial, a bit of that facial, use our skincare technology and make like bespoke facial for them.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest,
we just need
that
them
might be
through the door.
yeah.
Like
I
once
mean,
they're through the door and they're with us, we tend to, you know, we tend to keep them and they come back. And it's just
yeah.
it's the problem is like they do their courses and they're done. So we need to keep regenerating clients so that once that batch is finished, we then have a new batch.
Yeah. So there's some things that you could potentially do. I mean, you could package up a custom facial and say like whatever part of each facial you like need for your specific skin concerns, it's a flat rate. It's like it's a bespoke facial, like custom made to your concerns. And you can do an offer on something like that. Or what you can do, like you were saying about lifetime value, yeah, so like it's not like, I mean, Botox, every 3 months they need to kind of come back. But I guess with facials, so what you could do, you could do a membership program. I mean, really on Facebook, the higher the ticket treatment, the better the return. The more expensive in any business, any service-based business, the more you charge, the more profitable and the more sense it makes. And the good thing about a membership is that you basically buy the retention, or they buy the retention at the start. So you would say like you could have, so let's say your lifetime value of a client at the minute is, let's say, maybe two visits for a facial, or maybe three, and let's say each facial's 300 £100. So you know that your lifetime value is 300 quid. Now what you can do is you could go, okay, so for 6 months they get a facial every month, and instead of it being 600 quid, you're going to do some kind of, you could either throw something else on it like fat freezing on top as for free when they join this membership program, or you can discount and bring that down to 450 or 500, and then basically you've just increased your retention rate, and you've got people coming in over a longer period of time because they fronted the cost, because it's paid in full. And I think that might work, just because facials, it's like a massage. However, obviously, there is an actual improvement in your skin and stuff like that. And people, it's like, I can imagine it being kind of like a routine facial, like, oh, I haven't had a facial in a long time. So if somebody just sees a great offer, a new patient offer where they get something for free, as well as this amount of facials, which equals 60 quid per time, which is 40% off, but you're still increasing your lifetime value, so it's a win-win. I think that could work as well. So it's all just different kind of strategies that you can use to and obviously that makes a massive return, for cash flow, especially as a small clinic. You're looking to bring on more staff, open more hours. If you can basically get that all paid in full in 1 month, your total cash collected is way more, and two, your lifetime value is way more, and the customer's more happy because they're getting a 40% discount, and maybe something for free. So yeah, you could do something like that as well if you did want to improve your lifetime value.
Cool. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think setting it up is going to be a bit of a process, especially as you might have issues with our Facebook. We have to talk to Dan about that, but I'll figure it out, I guess. And then, yeah, so we crack on for March. Whatever date it is in March, we can start. I'd say if we start by latest like 5th or 6th of March and running it for a month.
Yeah.
Because we're going just after that. We're closing, and then hopefully it goes well, or well enough that we say, right, let's crack on with May and June.
Yeah, sure.
May and June were quite big for us last year. They were our 2 best months, but that was all via Facebook before we got hacked.
Right.
So,
here's a question. Yeah. We have a database of nearly 2,000 people already, some who've come through our original Facebook campaign and some who've come to us and not returned. Is there a way of utilizing that information as well, because they're not necessarily cold leads?
Yeah, someone on your video actually said that you did that for them.
Yeah.
That you took their leads and did something.
Yeah, so it's just database reactivation, and so basically what we would do is we would connect your cards to our system to pay for text messaging. The thing is, text messaging it's slightly more, it's quite expensive in the UK, as a business.
We actually stopped it. Those guys did the same thing at the beginning, and we stopped
Right.
it because I started getting complaints, and it was costing us a fortune. So we actually stopped it within like a week. People were texting back saying, "Leave me alone! Stop texting me! Stop! Stop! Stop!" We weren't getting anything from text messaging at all. So we actually
Right,
stopped it. Yeah.
yeah,
We tested it on ourselves and it drove us mad.
yeah. I mean, the other way we can use it is if they are leads that have like are kind of like in the area, at least in like a 50-mile radius, and
Yeah.
they've previously showed interest, and you've got their name, number, and email, and yeah, name, number, and email. What we can do is we can test it as an audience on Facebook. So basically, we can give Facebook context of what the average like demographic is in that list, and then what it will do, it will find Facebook accounts that are similar to that overall demographic. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, just like, to be completely honest, just like keeping everything very open with no targeting is the best way. Lots of
Okay.
people think like, oh, you
Fine,
have
it
to.
was just I was
Yeah,
wondering.
sorry.
All right. So I think let's give it a go and see how we go. It's
Let's
very
do it.
easy. It's very clear.